Let's at least tackle the controversy, put that aside, and now some experts are predicting that Cruz may have an Iowa-style surprise in store in Nevada. Most are pointing to the secret sauce that worked so well for him in Iowa. Cruz campaign senior advisor Alice Stewart here with us live now on the recipe behind that secret sauce, Alice. I guess that gave him the punch for Iowa, but the question is, will it give him the kick for Nevada? And the secret sauce is this famed ground game that he seemed to have really capitalized upon in Iowa. But when you say ground game, talk about why it's so special for Ted Cruz.
Well, it's critical. It's critical for any candidate that wants to win one of these states. And we will call this, for Nevada's sake, the silver sauce, because it is a silver state. And the ingredients include a great message, a great messenger, and a tremendous ground game. And we have Ted Cruz, who's been out there. He hit the ground running right after South Carolina, there in Nevada, where he has had 3 rallies yesterday, 3 today, getting ready to step out on another one. And his message is what really resonates with the people there. And that is, number one, immigration is a big issue there. And Ted has been very vocal on fighting against amnesty, unlike Marco Rubio, doing everything he can to help put an end to anything that would be pro-amnesty and securing the border, because he sees this as a national security issue, which it is. That is something that resonates with the people there.
Well,
also,
let me tackle that issue first of all, because people are looking at Ted Cruz, who has been very anti-amnesty, and he's been very clear about that and feels it's a positive. And yet, this is a country that others would say was built upon immigrants, and that there is a possibility, or a way at least, to grant amnesty, have them be part of the system, pay into taxes, and that this country is now a majority of minorities, Alice, and that he may very well, along with Donald Trump, step into the same ankle-breaking hole that a lot of Republicans have in the past that doesn't seem to work, and that is being against the minorities in this nation.
The number one priority in terms of national security with regard to immigration has to do with securing the border and opposing any type of amnesty, and that is what Ted has been saying from the very beginning. He campaigned on opposing amnesty, and he went to Washington fighting against Marco Rubio and the Gang of Eight's proposals that would bring about amnesty. In order to bring about a positive change with regard to immigration, first and foremost, we have to secure the border, we have to enforce the existing laws, and take it from there. And that is something that's important to the people there in Nevada, as well as people across the country. And in addition to pushing that message with national security, just the other day, Ted had a phenomenal speech in Charleston, where he talked about the importance of helping the economy grow, bringing about jobs, so we can have the money necessary to rebuild our military, and increasing our armed forces.
But what people find interesting now is that he has a message, he's absolutely sticking with it, and yet these so-called controversies, and now somebody reading a Bible and somebody making a comment, and the campaign manager of the Cruz organization had to send out an apology tweet. None of this helps the voters figure out how to improve our economy, Alice. So the whole Bible issue, I mean, what do you have to say about that? I look at that and say, why are we looking at this kind of thing? But others say, Liz, this adds to the sort of liar label, and I disagree with anybody. Listen, a lot of politicians stretch the truth here and there, but how do you move on from that?
Here's what we had starting the moment that Ted Cruz beat Donald Trump in the Iowa caucus. Anytime he would shine a light on Donald Trump's record, he automatically called him a liar, because he didn't want to talk about his record. And the moment that he would shine a light on Marco Rubio's record, dealing with the Gang of Eight and his support of amnesty, instead of addressing the issues and the policies, they attack the messenger. It's a tried and true tactic that's been used for years, but this is what has been happening ever since Ted Cruz dominated the field in the Iowa caucus. Instead of, let's talk about the issues, let's talk about Donald Trump and his support for Democrats over the years and his tens of thousands of dollars he's donated. Let's talk about his policies when it comes to being pro-choice, when it comes to opposing traditional marriage, when it comes to public taxpayer-funded money for Planned Parenthood, the nation's largest abortion provider. He won't address those issues, and instead he just simply calls Ted a liar.
But I go,
and we point out Marco
to
Rubio's record on amnesty, he does the same thing. And just because
Alice,
they say it does not make it so.
I'm going to go back to the issue once again, and this could in a certain way be the same for Donald Trump, because now he's going back on the things that, or he's ignoring the fact that he is on the record as being supportive of the things you just articulated. But there are a lot of Republicans. I was just in Florida this weekend, and I talked to a lot of Republicans who are business people who said, can we move on from gay marriage? Can we move on from battles that have been fought and won? We'd like to figure out the economy and figure out how to inspire people to get more jobs. And instead, we're fighting over who said what a couple of years ago.
Well, it was actually just about a week ago on the debate stage. But I agree with you 100%, Liz. Let's talk about national security. Let's talk about jobs.
Exactly.
Let's talk about the economy. Those are the things we want. And what people want, as you hear a lot of people in Florida and all over the country, they want a candidate who is consistent on the issues, not someone who was one way 16 years ago or a week ago on one issue and says something different as a candidate. They want a consistent conservative, not a campaign conservative, someone who will fight for the Constitution, fight for what made this country great. Look, it's one thing to say you want to make America great again and make baseball caps, but it's another to actually understand what fundamentally makes America great from the very beginning.
Well, let's hope that voters are prepared to figure out what to do in Nevada, and we'll be watching it. Alice, thank you very much.
Thank you, Liz.
Alice.